Hello, my love fam. Welcome back to the channel. And if this is your first time watching, welcome. And if you're watching this on TikTok, welcome. Hit the follow me button so you can follow me. So each time I upload, content, you can follow me. Because I know I'm sharing this on TikTok and I'm sharing this on YouTube. So I have to greet my TikTok family too. Welcome, my love fam. Y'all my love fam too. So, this is something that I want to share with you all and pray that it encourage you all as well. Yesterday while doing prayer, this individual, I consider him like as a spiritual father. And so, and the reason why I say I consider him as a spiritual father, because while on my spiritual journey, he have helped me, so many times. He helped me from a bad relationship, Thanks to him, to his words of advice, I didn't marry the individual. But anywho, he was just on my mind heavy. It's because we had him on our prayer sick list. And I noticed that his name wasn't on there anymore. He wasn't, was praying for him anymore. And so I'm like, I didn't hear anything, about, any update on him, whether it was good or bad. There was nothing. I didn't hear anything else on him. And so he was just on my mind hard, heavy yesterday. And as I began to pray for him, it just Lord dropped something in my spirit. Like, prayer goes a long way, Melissa. Like, prayer goes a long way. Prayer goes a long way. No matter, what the person, what they might be going through, they might be dealing with, their health, they may have cancer, they might have heart failure, they may have some type of disability, but prayer goes a long way. So we have to continue to pray for our loved ones, friends, neighbors, whoever, and they ask you to pray for them, and we're praying for them. Some of us, we might have them on our prayer list. I have a prayer wall and I have a prayer journal, and I keep people's names on there. And so I keep their names on there. I don't remove their names, unless God say otherwise, unless they done passed away or something, but I keep their name on them. I keep their name on the prayer wall, because as long as there's breath and life still breathing in their body, still continue to pray for them, still continue to pray for them. And so I just want to share that with you all. And something else, y'all, I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget anything. And so, like, as I stated, like, sometimes the doctor might give you a bad report, might say, hey, they got cancer, hey, they ain't got long to live. And sometimes we as people, right away, we plan a funeral arrangement. We get funeral arrangement, oh, they say they ain't got long to live, then, they ain't gonna make it. But we need to start speaking life. We need to start speaking life over our bodies, our loved ones. We need to start speaking life. It's because it's like right away. And I'm not saying all doctors. I'm just saying that some doctors, they just, right away when they give you this news, they want you to just pull the cord, pull the plug. It's like, you might as well take them off the ventilator, take them off this, take them off that. But I feel like as long as there's life, they still breathing until God take their breath away. Until God take their breath away, I feel like we need to keep praying for them. I have heard so many stories of individuals just because of prayer, just because they was consistent with prayer. They kept praying that they love when the individual is living to this day, all because of prayer. They kept praying. I heard so many stories. I know this singer, Travis Green, I'll never forget his testimony, how he said at the age of 4, when he jumped from, I think it was like a 3rd floor window building, and he saw these big old hands, these big old hands, and he was like, and the Lord told, God told him, like, what, like, it's not his time, like, it's not your time, and if you do that again, he was like, I'm going to take you home. And then he shared a story of his mother, how the doctor told his mother, like, what, y'all might as well go ahead and make funeral arrangement. And so he said, what, in spite of what, how his mother was looking, he said they kept praying. They kept praying. They kept praying for his mother. And to this day, she is living. So that's why I say, like, who report are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the report of man, or are you going to believe the report of the Lord? You need to keep praying, until God say otherwise, until you get confirmation for God to say, hey, I'm going to take your loved one home, keep praying for them. Keep praying for them. Who are we? Who are we? Who are we to just put them in a box? Be ready to put them in a box. Who are we to just hurry up and want to make funeral? Who are we to just go pull the cord? God has the final say. Even Jesus Christ, during his crucifixion when he was on the cross, he fought to the end. He fought to the end. He was nailed to the cross. He fought to the end, and when he couldn't fight no more, what did he say? I want to read you all what he said. And this is Luke. This is Luke 23:46. And he said, Father, into thy hands I command my spirit. Like, he fought to the end. And when he couldn't fight no more, he said, Father, like into my hand, like into your hands, Father. I command my spirit into your hand. That right there was like, okay, this is it. This is the last. This is the final. I know you finna take my breath. This is it. Well, who are we? Who are we to say, you know what? Hey, they told them they ain't got much to live. Say, hey, you know what? We might as well start making arrangement. No, until God take their breath away. Who are we to just pull the cord? My mother, I share this story so many times on my channel. My mother, she had breast cancer. She passed away in 2009, but she had stage 4 breast cancer. And she was, she started losing oxygen and stuff, and she went to the hospital, and they told us, like, she wasn't gonna have long to live. And so they sent her home on hospice care. She told them no, she didn't want to be at the hospital. She said she wanted to go home. And so she came home. But when she came home, we wasn't making funeral arrangements. Even though she was on hospice care, we wasn't making funeral arrangements like, what she finna get. She finna get ready to die. We was there. All of us, my brothers, my sisters, even her siblings, my mother's siblings, we all just took turn going in the room, talking to her, praying with her, sharing scriptures, just loving on her. Loving on her. I remember the time when I went in the room, and I was just, I grabbed her hand, and she was just doing like this, pulling back, and I asked the lady, the hospital care, and I was like, why is she doing that? And the lady told me, she was like, your mother better than I do, And so we still continue to pray. We still continue to pray for her all the way until, God took her last breath. All the way until we didn't make a funeral arrangement until after. After she had passed away. We didn't start making funeral arrangement, till after she had passed away. But I just want to say, we need to stop being so quick. The minute we get some bad news, it's right away, we just saying, hey, yeah, they say I ain't got long to live, so well, I'm going to start doing this, planning this, making this, and I'm going to start sharing, There's this sister at my church. She shared her testimony. I believe she had cancer. And she said she didn't even tell her kids. She didn't want to tell her kids, the news that she got from the doctor. She said, I didn't tell my kids. She didn't tell her kids. She prayed, she prayed, and she trusted, and she believed in God. To this day now, she's still, God is doing a miraculous healing on her body. She ain't up trying to make funeral arrangements, telling her kids, hey, ain't gonna be here long. No, she's still trusting and believing God. She still be at church, still praising God, And that's how we have to do. We have to speak life. We have to speak life over our bodies, speak life over our loved ones. He said, I come that you might have life and more abundantly. We have to continue to pray. Continue to pray. Let's stop removing people off the prayer list, off of this and that, let's continue to pray for them. Let's still pray for them until, otherwise we get some other news. Let's still pray for them. Let's continue, because prayer goes a long way. This is just something the Lord gave me in prayer. Like, prayer goes a long way. You don't know. Prayer can reach places that we never even thought that it can reach. We might see them one day, a relative somewhere. I might say, oh, he's a drunk. And then some couple of weeks later, months later, you're like, wait a minute, is that my same uncle such and such that was on the corner drinking? And look at him now. You just never know, because of your prayers. Because of your prayers, your loved ones, they can be healed. They can be delivered. You never know. So we still need to continue to pray for them. It's because God has the final say. God has the final say. And this was just weighing at my heart, and I'm like, God, like, why his name not on it anymore? I just began to ask God, and I still haven't gotten an answer back. But I'm like, why his name is on it? I didn't never hear anything to saying like, they said he passed away or anything, or he said stop, I ain't heard anything. So I'm like, I feel like we need to continue to pray for them until we get some news or something from the family, or somebody saying, hey, he doing better, they doing this, we need to continue. But about us stopping the prayer, that interrupts, it interrupts the person, their healing, their deliverance. It interrupts, So we need to continue to pray, is because if we have loved ones, they might be sick or got this type of disability, and we stop praying for them, that'll make them feel like, you got an enemy. The enemy can whisper bad things to them, saying, well, ain't nobody praying for you. Your loved ones, they don't even care about you. They ain't even coming to see you. They ain't even writing, letters or nothing. They're not coming to see you or anything. But by them knowing that you care for them, you love them, you coming to see them, you visit them, letting them know, hey, I'm still praying for you, that gives them hope. That gives them hope to keep fighting. But if nobody is checking on them, they be like, hey, what I got to live for anyway? What do I got to live for anyway if nobody is coming to check on me, see about me? What I got to live for anyway? But as long as you still be praying for them, that's some hope. That's some hope right there. And so I just want to share that with you, love your people, to be encouraged. And if you have someone, that got some bad news, you might get some bad news from the doctor. Not only from the doctor, your boss might give you some bad news, Don't be so quick, to just throw in the towel, say, hey, this is it, rather to just, like some people, they want to, kill themselves, commit suicide because they got some bad news. You might just got laid off a job. Continue to pray for that person. Continue to pray for the person, that no matter what they may be, you don't know what they might be going through, what they might be dealing with in life. Continue to pray for them. Keep them on your prayer list. Keep them on your prayer wall. Just keep praying for them, because prayer goes a long way. They may be out of the state, out of the city. They might be incarcerated. Continue to pray for them. Continue to pray for them. Like, who are we? Who are we? Just say, you know what? I'm through with them. I'm done with them. I ain't, God didn't say that for us. He didn't say that. He didn't say, I'm done with them. Oh, they still smoking. They still drinking. He didn't give up on us. He kept tugging at us. He kept pulling at us until finally, when he pulled us in, he drew us to him, and we gave our life to him. He kept on. So that's how we got to be sometime for individual. We got to show compassion. We got to show compassion. Let them know, like, somebody is praying for you. I just want to, whether it's just a phone call or when you see them, just tell them, say, hey, I just want you to know that I'm praying for you. If you see somebody on the street, you say, hey, a homeless person, let them know. Say, you know what, I just want you to know I'm praying for you. They need to know that somebody is praying on their behalf. It's because if you don't, they lose hope and say, hey, I ain't got nothing to life anyway. So I just want to share that with you all. And I'm trying to see, is there anything else I'm going to share with you all before I end this video, because I don't want this to make this a long video. I'm trying to put this on It's going to be on YouTube, and then it's going to be on TikTok. So I don't want to make this a long video. And sometimes TikTok, if it's a long video, they won't let you post it. So I was trying to keep it at the minimum. And so I pray, I hope that I pray and I hope that I said something on here today that is going to encourage you, inspire you. Share this video with a loved one, so too that they can know that, you know, so they can be encouraged. You never know what they might be going through. They might just say, you know what, I just got some bad news. I just got some bad news from the doctor. I just got some bad news from my boss. I just got some bad news from my lawyer. You can share this video with them to let them know, like, when you get these bad news, don't look at it as this is the end of the world. This is it. This is it. My life is over. You know, this is not the end. This is not the end of your story. This is not the end of your story. You know, God is setting you up for a major comeback. You know, there's going to be some setbacks in your life, but God is setting you up for a major comeback. So, if you was blessed by this video, please give this video, if you're watching this on YouTube, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the notification bell so you know each time I upload a video. And if you're watching this on TikTok, please hit the follow me button, so you know each time I upload a video. It's every now and then, out of the blue, I do videos on TikTok. Mostly I just do scripture verses, but I probably need to start back doing videos. But I pray that this video bless you all. Prayer goes a long way, y'all. Prayer goes a long way. Do not stop praying. Don't stop praying for your loved ones. No matter what the doctor tell you, do not stop praying. Like I said, until God take their breath away, continue to pray for them. And when you go see your loved ones, it's like I said, when my mom, when she was on hospice care, and how we all was in the room, we was just talking to her, encouraging her, sharing scripture words. You know, sometimes you have a loved one, they ill. Sometimes that's what they need. They need their family around, family giving them encouraging words, you know, whatever it is. They don't need nobody negative, because people that come in the room and that's negative, that's going to make things even worse. And then sometimes, I'm going to share this with you all, and I'm going to end this video. There are other outcomes. There are other outcomes where it's that God, you know, God may reserve that person. He might reserve their life. He might give them more time. So, you know what? It's not your, you know, like I shared this story with the singer Travis. We're like, it's not your time to go. It's not your time to go. And so he add more time to your life. And, you know, and so there's, you know, like there's other outcomes. It's not always the outcome where it's like that person, the individual is finna leave, but there are other outcomes. So this is why I say we need to continue to pray, because you just never know. Like God is saying, you know, it's not time for them to die. It's not time for them to go. You know, speak life, you know. So this is why it's so important that I feel like a family, you need to have somebody that's in your family that's, you know, that's have a connection with God. It's because while other family members is saying pull the plug, you need to have that other family member say, you know what, no, I think we need to continue to pray. I think we need to continue to pray until God say, you know, otherwise. But that's all I have to say. Until next time, it's your girl Melissa. God bless.